I know the many of you all that come across my videos and shit, and y'all listen to the way I sound, and I bet you a lot of y'all say, damn man, this motherfucker have a great disdain and hatred for white people. You did? I know that's what y'all be thinking, right? I don't have, let me make this clear, I don't have hatred for white people. I have hatred for the shit and behavior that they do. That's pathological. I have a hatred for that. The average rank and file white person, I have nothing against them personally. You know, but the funny thing is, I despise racist white people who sit up there and try to act like they're not racist when they just need to come out and say that they're racist. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I'm gonna keep them 100. I'm bigoted as fuck towards white people. I ain't gonna lie, I tell them that in their face. Because I don't think it should be no motherfucker. I think it should be transparency all across the board. I don't think people should be fired or lose their job for feeling the way they feel. Long as they ain't doing nothing to harm nobody. It's when you go over that line and harm somebody, that's where the problem comes in. And see, this is where white supremacy begins. We all know what the definition of white supremacy is. We all know this. You know, where you have any kind of supremacy, where you can inflict bodily harm, financial, economic, basically throw stumbling blocks into somebody to keep anybody from having prosperity that you don't like. That's what the segregation system was all about. So when Donald Trump them up there talking about implementing segregation, what they talking about, depriving black people of substance, depriving you of wealth, depriving you. That's why I said we gotta have a separation. Even when after Malcolm X even came back, Al Hodge, Malik Shabazz made a answers to be proud of their brother. Even when he came back and he went to Mecca and came back and had an epiphany, he still said we should separate from them just so we can have our own and have ourselves established. But see, white supremacy is, even when we did that, even when we created our own avenues, our own communities, and white people told us, we don't want y'all niggas a part of our community. So we formed our own, and we did quite well. In fact, we did way better than them. So true to that white peckerwood, cracker, hunky ass nature, he said, I don't like these niggas, they doing better than us. Yeah, we gotta destroy their community. But any kind of event that took place, they basically gave them an opportunity to burn down thriving black communities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Elaine, Arkansas, Wilmington, North Carolina, Slocum, Texas, Rosewood, Florida, Omaha, Nebraska, thriving black community in Omaha, Nebraska. They said it was 60 thriving black communities that were destroyed, that were known. There was many others, but those were the black thriving communities that were known. And the whole thing is, they always tried to keep black people from creating generational wealth, because white folks had a fear of black people having our own resources, our own everything, and they didn't want that. And the elites at the time, the 3% didn't want that, because you know, they just didn't want to have competition. They seen black people rising. They always, and it's just in the diaspora in general. Look at Latin America. Latin America is a prime example of that shit. You got, like, man, if you ever go to Brazil, places like that, majority of your Afro Latinos, whether it be Dominican Republic, Colombia, Brazil, they'll make you think they're a racial utopia. They'll give you this narrative, oh, we're a racial utopia. With all the black people at the bottom and indigenous people at the bottom. But we're a racial utopia. We just running shit at the top. Us so-called white Brazil just running shit at the top. And that's throughout Latin America. The only thing is, the United States looking at like, damn, why we didn't implement the same shit that Argentina did? Argentina completely annihilated, erased their black population. But not once have people said we're gonna put Argentina under all kind of goddamn sanctions. That's a country that literally eradicated their indigenous, indigenous black population. You got black people and indigenous Argentinians there. They just in so many small number and so mixed biracial due to them trying to breed them out, that you have a small population that's very small. You did. But like I said, man, when people listen to me, they'll say, why, damn, you have a lot of damn hatred in your heart. You don't never smile. You know, like I said, if you ever notice, anytime I do a video or a picture, I don't smile with white people. I don't buck and jive. I don't tap dance. I don't smile with them. I talk the same way I'm talking to you right now. I'm not gonna code switch. Fuck all that shit. You can understand my English. They want me to try to change and talk like a white man. How you doing, Brad? How you doing, Becky? Fuck all that, man. I'm black. I love being black. And my tone of voice, if you have a fear with it, that's your motherfucking problem. Maybe, motherfucker, you need to get help. Because I'm not going to change my voice tone because you are intimidated by it. Good. Be intimidated by it. I love it. Because, like I said, just like y'all, like a lot of y'all might buck dance, shuck a jive, lay up with white women, lay up with white men. I don't do that shit. And just because I critique black women on that shit, that don't mean I'm gonna go out like that.